The kings of two eras are about to collide, one chasing history, the other clinging to his throne. Canelo Alvarez, battered by time but still the biggest name in the game, is cashing in what might be his final golden ticket. Across the ring, Terence "Bud" Crawford, slick, cerebral, and climbing into a weight class where giants roam, all for the chance to do what no man in the four-belt era has ever done: go undisputed in the divisions. Forget polite narratives. This isn't just legacy. This is a high-stakes heist masked as a boxing match, and both men know it's winner takes everything: glory, cash, and one final claim to immortality. But don't let the press conference smiles fool you. This fight reeks of desperation. Canelo's legs aren't what they used to be. He's slower, easier to tag, and fresh off a performance that left fans more concerned than impressed. Crawford, on the other hand, smells blood. He says it's about legacy, but let's be honest, he's been circling the drain of retirement, and this mega bag might be his golden parachute. It's a legacy play, sure, but it's also a hit job. Two legends, one aging fast, climbing. Hi, someone's leaving Vegas with a check and their pride. The other? Just the check. It's official. Boxing's biggest payday is locked in, and it's turning more heads than any uppercut ever could. On September 12th, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are set to step into the ring in Las Vegas, and the money on the table? Absolutely staggering. Reports suggest that Canelo, the reigning face of boxing, could walk away with a jaw-dropping purse exceeding $100 million, possibly ballooning to $150 million, depending on the final number. That's not just legacy money, it's generational wealth. On the other side, Crawford isn't walking in empty-handed either. He's expected to secure close to $100 million himself, and for a man who's hinted that this could be his last rodeo, that's the perfect kind of send-off. Though Crawford keeps insisting this fight is about legacy, fans aren't. They hear legacy, but what they really interpret is, I'm grabbing my retirement. And who could blame him? Turki Al-Sheikh is hyping this fight to the moon and back, calling it the fight of the century. While it might be a stretch, you can see why he's so fired up. Crawford, a four-division world champ and one of Al-Sheikh's personal favorites, still carries that super aura. But let's be honest, this isn't exactly prime versus prime. It's more like a fantasy matchup years in the making that finally landed just a few years too late. Think of it as the battle of the aging lions. Two greats who dominated their primes, now on their way out, but still proud enough to put on a show. Sure, fans will show up, cheer, and maybe even dream of what this fight could have been in 2016, but the winner won't be crowned king of the 168-pound division. Not really. Not when names like Christian Mbili, Diego Pacheco, and Osleys Iglesias are still prowling the weight class, waiting for their shots at greatness. Crawford may be aging, but there's still a spark in him. Even if he's been largely inactive lately, and didn't exactly look razor-sharp the last time out in 2024, there's a chance he's got just enough gas left in the tank to pull something off. But what's more alarming is what we saw from Canelo Alvarez just recently. In his fight against William Skull, a bout he won by unanimous decision, Canelo looked a step slower. The punch stats were telling. Canelo landed 56 out of 152 punches, while Skull connected on just 55 of 293. On paper, it was a clear win, but the performance was far from convincing. His signature ability to cut off the ring seemed to have faded, and his overall output was sluggish. It didn't feel like the Canelo who once hunted down opponents like a panther. It felt like a man stuck in second gear, trying to summon something that just wasn't there anymore. Watching Alvarez against Skull felt almost surreal. This wasn't the sharp, explosive fighter grown used to. This was a plodding version of a legend, and the decline was right there in front. Canelo looked tired, slow, and human. The aura of invincibility has started to wear off. His movement was heavy, his reaction time slower, and his ability to adjust mid-fight, something that once separated him from the pack, seemed dull. You could almost feel the frustration in the crowd. They didn't come to see a legend survive. 12 rounds, they came to see dominance, and instead they got a shadow of greatness. That kind of vulnerability isn't just risky, it's dangerous when you're about to face someone as crafty and motivated as Terence Crawford. It's also important to remember that Canelo's fight before Skull against Edgar Berlanga may have taken more out of him than fans realize. That night, Canelo looked dominant early, but as the rounds wore on and Berlanga started landing big shots, you could see something shift. He was tiring, and even though he won convincingly, the punishment he took in those later rounds might have left a permanent mark. Fighters don't always show it in the moment, but wear and tear adds up. What we saw against Skull might not have have been a one-off bad night. It might be a sign that the well is starting to run dry. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford isn't downplaying this fight at all. He knows exactly what's at stake, not just in terms of legacy, but in terms of money, pride, and a shot at history. Speaking to Ring Magazine, Crawford called it the biggest fight of his career and made it clear he's more than ready to challenge. And it's not just talk, he sounds genuinely fired up. He's been studying Canelo's game, breaking him down, and picturing every angle. Sure, they've never shared the ring before, but Crawford's not stepping in blind. This is the kind of opportunity that fighters dream about, and Crawford's fully aware it could change the arc of his career forever, even if it might also mark the final chapter. Crawford spoke with a level of competitive fire that only fighters of his caliber can channel. He described it like throwing gasoline on a fire, and for a man as naturally intense as Crawford, that imagery says it all. He's not just showing up to cash a check, he's coming to compete. He's aiming to make a statement, one that echoes far beyond September 12th. And while some fans believe he's past his prime, or that the weight jump might be too much to handle, Crawford doesn't seem fazed. This is a guy who's fought through adversity before, who's defied expectations, and who thrives on proving people wrong. That being said, the weight jump is no small thing. Crawford has made a career out of climbing divisions and taking risks, but this is different. He's moving up 2 full weight classes to fight a man who has lived and thrived at 168 for nearly a decade. It's not just about the size, it's about the power, the rhythm, the wear and tear that naturally comes from carrying more muscle and absorbing bigger shots. On paper, Crawford and Canelo might seem to be of similar size, but when fight night comes and both men step into the ring, we'll see if Crawford's body can truly handle the pressure of the super middleweight division. Can he take Canelo's punches? More importantly, can he hurt Canelo? This fight will be Crawford's first at 168, and that alone makes it a fascinating gamble. While he certainly has the skills to frustrate and outmaneuver Canelo, there's a massive unknown hanging over this bout. Can Crawford survive a full 12 rounds with a heavier, seasoned puncher like Canelo? Sure, Canelo is past his prime, but he's still dangerous. He still carries pop in both hands, and he still knows how to set traps and punish mistakes. Crawford's slickness, footwork, and fight IQ will be tested like never before. And if there's even a moment of hesitation or physical weakness, Canelo will pounce. After Canelo's win over William Skull, the stage was officially set. The two fighters had their first face-off, and though it was cordial, the tension was undeniable. There was a spark in Crawford's eyes, and Canelo, though calm, had that familiar look of cold determination. This isn't just a mega fight because of the money, though that's clearly a huge part of it. This is about legacy, pride, and proving something to the boxing world before the final curtain falls. For Crawford, it's about making history. If he can pull it off and defeat Canelo, he'll become the first male boxer to go undisputed in 3 different weight divisions during the 4-belt era. That's a level of greatness that puts him in a league of his own, above even legends like Usyk and Holyfield. And make no mistake, that's a powerful motivator. Records matter, history matters, and for all the talk about this being a money grab or a retirement send-off, the truth is, both of these fighters are still proud. They still care. They still want to go out on their terms with one last defining. That's why, even with the physical decline and the weight question, this fight still matters. It's not just about who's left standing at the end, it's about what they're standing for.